Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. If you're just tuning in, we've changed the DNS servers, and I strongly advise you to view these tutorials in the order in which they were posted. But the change of the DNS servers was necessary in order to hide the DNS servers from our ISP provider. Anyway, let's go ahead and open up our browser. I already have mine open here, and one of the first things that we're going to need to do is to disable Webrtc. I have it written out in the upper right corner. If you can't see it, it's perfectly fine, because now I am going to go ahead and type in about colon config, and then it's gonna say this might void your warranty. Notice that I'm using Iceweasel, which is basically Firefox for Chrome. It's a little bit of a different procedure. If you're using that, let me know. I can help you out there. In any case, WebRTC, sorry, it's used. It's gonna reveal your. It can leak your data. It's some of the new things that have been embedded into Firefox and Chrome. But in Firefox, they've made it relatively easy to disable. I mean, it's not a big deal. You just have to go in the about config. So it's about config, and you're going to get this warning. And this warning is here for a reason. This is not here because somebody decided that they should just put a warning of some sort without a purpose or anything like that. This is here for a reason. If you go about messing with these things, be sure that you know what it is that you are doing. Otherwise, leave them as they are, because you can break your browser to the point where it's no longer going to work, or it's going to severely jeopardize your safety and the safety of your software, the integrity of your browser, etc. So I'll be careful, I promise. Just go ahead and click on it, and in the search bar you need to search the same pattern that I am searching now. Here, let me zoom it in as much as I can. It says media dot peer connection dot enabled. Okay, so here it's Boolean is set to false. You can just double click to change it to true, but don't. Only if this is true, double click and change it to false, and that is all you really need to do. No big deal there. So just go ahead and close. It needs to be false. That's all it needs to be. Just go ahead and close the browser after that and reopen it. Type into your favorite search engine, whichever one you're using. I'm just using the default one here. Open VPN free. Just type that in. And I do believe that I have a site that I've used before. Yep, there we go. So it's VPN book. We're gonna go ahead and use one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and use the German one, but you can use the Canadian one, US one, and I don't know where this one is located. I'm sure we could figure it out, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to use a German one. You can use whichever one you want. Feel free. So I'm just going to download it. It's going to be in my downloads folder. There we go. Here is the username. I'm going to remember that. It's VPN book. And I'm just gonna go ahead and copy the password, because now I need to close the browser. So in order to start the VPN, we need to close the browser. We cannot have the browser open while the VPN is running, while we're setting up the VPN. Sorry, my bad there. So we need to set the VPN up, start it, make sure, let it run, and then open up a browser. So browser cannot be opened before that. It needs to be closed completely. All your tabs, the entire browser needs to be closed. It cannot be active. Set the VPN up, and only then start your browser. Then it will work. Otherwise, it won't. So, or it shouldn't anyway. So let's go ahead and type it in. Let's go to this downloads ls, and this file is zipped, so just go ahead and unzip it. So unzip, zip VPN book.com, and there we go. Do ls again. You will see that you have a good number of these. Let's just clear the screen to make it a little bit clearer. LL is not installed here. I can install it, I guess, but doesn't really matter. And I am going to use the TCP 443.OpenVPN. What do I type in? I just type in open VPN space, and then just go ahead and type this in. TCP 443 VPN. Start it up. Type in the username. The username is VPN book. The password is the one that I've copied from the net. Press enter and just let it run. I would advise you to let it run for like a minute for everything to be set up and initialized to be fine and dandy and functional and so on and so forth. It says here initialization sequence completed. That is what we were looking for and waiting for. Now let's go ahead and start up our browser. And let's go ahead and say, type in, what is my IP? Okay, so it says that my public IP is this one here, 178.162.193.233. And let's see, where will that IP put me? Wait, this is not a good one. Let's go to Dns League Test. Okay, so look, it's putting me in Germany, so that's where I am located at the moment. But not at the moment, that is where this IP is located at the moment. That is the location for this IP address, and this is the one that is shielding my real one. Just to give you an idea of what I mean by it, I can go ahead and open up the terminal, stop this process with Control-C, and let's see, will this work if I reload the site? I don't think it's going to actually work. I think I shall need to reset the browser. And yes, I need to reset the browser, but you saw that my IP was in Germany. And let's do it again. DNS Leak Test. And here we go. A moment. There you go. It says now it's giving my real IP address. A lot of people cover it up on YouTube, on the net. I personally think it's a completely pointless thing to do because these are dynamic IP addresses provided to us by our ISP providers, and this is going to change about 20 times by the time I actually publish these videos, because I tend to, and I can actually change it myself if I just reset the router. If I had, just reset the router, basically plug it in, plug it out. That's the quickest way to do it. Or you can actually log into your router and release the DHCP lease and then acquire a new one. But doesn't really matter. Do you see the idea? I mean, I had a German one, and when I covered myself up, and now I have this one. Okay, so let's close it. Let's fire up our VPN again. So VPN book. There we go. It's starting. Wait for it. Don't just go and click and open up your browser immediately. Wait for this initialization sequence completed and then open up your browser, and make sure, as I said before, that there are no other browsers that are opened at all. No big deal. Start it up and say DNS Leak Test. Okay, click on it. Again, I am in Germany, so do the standard test. Okay, now it says the ISP is OpenDNS because I am using OpenDNS DNS servers. I know it sounds a little bit confusing because of their name, but basically I'm using the DNS servers of this company, the DNS servers that belong to this company. What is important here? I know that I've stated before, you can just choose a DNS that is different from your own home country. Yes, that is true, definitely useful, but also keep in mind that the primary thing that you are hiding from, that you are trying to hide, is your ISP DNS server. That is the one that you are trying to conceal. So as long as your real ISP DNS server is not listed here, and preferably but not mandatory that this is not the country where you are actually located, you are good to go. If your ISP server shows here, the DNS server, your real ISP DNS server, then you have misconfigured something. You are not completely anonymous. Also, if this is your country of origin, I'm not talking about United States, it doesn't matter which one is listed here. I'm just saying that if here it says a country, and this could be Czech Republic or Canada, it can be United States as you see here, it doesn't matter. But as long as, if that is your country of origin, it's not that bad. Somebody can perhaps see that you are coming from that particular country, and that might be your real country where you're located. But these are public DNS servers. If you pick a good one, they won't keep log files, and you're pretty much good to go, because there will be because they won't have records, they won't have anything to show. Also, as I said, you can pick a DNS server which is not in your own country. Here it's just for United States because OpenDNS is in United States, but doesn't matter. As I said, it can be any country here. And let's say you're a citizen of, I don't know, Norway, and you have a Norwegian DNS server listed here, and you're using that one. Well, you can try using a DNS server which is in South African Republic. And it's going to say here South African Republic, and you're going to have a very different ISP here. But as I said, just make sure that they are reputable. Now, I hope that I have helped you out, that I've shown you how you can set up a free VPN service completely free of charge. You don't have to pay for anything extra, and how can this actually work out. If you are using VirtualBox, you can also go and, let's go ahead and stop this. You can go under Devices and in Network Settings and change from Bridge Adapter to NAT, because sometimes Bridge Adapter doesn't work for anybody due to the drivers, and say OK. And now you can reset the Network Manager. So just Service Network Manager restart. Let's see if I can ping google.com. Okay, NAT is working. And let's see if I can connect to the OpenVPN. So VPN book. Put the password and let it go through. Okay, initialization sequence completed. So it does work on, but you see I had my browser open. So this is a bad idea. This is something you should not do. Close the browser and redo this process. Once you have redone it, open up your browser again. I mean, it's not like it's going to reveal you if you're using your browser straight away, but the changes might not be applied to your browser. That's the problem. So DNS Leak Test. Again, it's working in NAT just fine, but let's see if the DNS is going to pass. Yep, it will. So NAT is also working just fine. You can use both NAT and bridged. If one doesn't work, try the other. This is just for people who are using virtual machines. You can switch in between NAT and bridged for virtual machines, that is. For everybody else, if you're not using a virtual machine, if you're using a real installation, or if you're using a USB, forget about NAT and bridged. This is all you can and need do. Anyway, I bid you all farewell, and I hope that this was helpful to those who have struggled with VPN in Kali 2.0.